Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M53 M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. It's located on North Spawn and Redshire, and it's under the command of Talon 1958. Well, this is a double header. We've got Talon featured first, and then we'll have his wifey featured in the second battle. Well, the M53, M55. This is the M55. I know that because it's got the 8-inch howitzer on the front, and I know it's the 8-inch because the barrel doesn't extend over the front of the vehicle. Now, the 8-inch one was used by the US Army, and it's actually a very effective Arty indeed. In fact, they were used in Vietnam and around about that time in the 60s. Very effective Arty indeed. It's actually supposed to be air transportable. It's built on the hull of the M46 or the M47. Depends on which Arty was available at the time for them to use, or which heavy tank rather was available at the time from the production line, because what they did is they took pattern tanks that had actually been built as far as the hull was concerned, and then they took the hull and then they took that, transported it over to the factory so that they could then manufacture the Arty. Didn't need the turret, of course. Basically, it's a pattern tank, but it's a pattern tank that's facing the wrong way, because the turret, or the actual howitzer, was placed where the turret would normally be, but it's facing towards the rear. The engine's at the front of the vehicle, whereas on a pattern tank it would be at the rear of the vehicle. They also took away one of the return sprockets at the rear of the vehicle, so it actually can squat down much easier at the rear when it's firing. Of course, it digs in with that big spade it has. Talon just fired a round in, a blind shot there. I think he probably did hit the enemy tank that was there. There was one seen on that spot. Reload time 31.97 seconds. In fact, a good M53, M55 driver can actually pump out a lot of rounds during a game. And if you have to do a lot of damage, that is sort of like a few thousand hit points of damage to complete a mission, this is probably the Arty to do it in, if not one of the tier 10s, because you can get that fire rate up really high. And that IS-7 was the one he hit earlier, and he's missing most of his hit points, so I think Talon probably did touch him. Another round out on him. Oh, he did that time as well. 408 hit points. He's a one-shot now. He's about to go out the game. Somebody can get a round in on him. Looks like he was just tracked. In the meantime, Talon's probably going to hit that Jagdtiger. But he can't hit the IS-7 at the moment. He's come too far forward. He's almost about to fire. In fact, he's looking to see if he can get around to hit both of them at the same time, but he's going for the Jagdtiger. Rounds out. Long flight time. Direct hit. 466. Very accurate. Yeah, Talon's known for being incredibly accurate because he lets the thing dial in to ensure that he gets a spot-on target. Now, some of you in the past have actually asked about the mods I use. I use Aslains mods, and in fact, actually, the description of the mods is in the and where you can get them is in the description to the video. Talon actually knows all the mods that I use, and I think he's got most of them himself on his system, so he can see the same information that I see. And at this moment, we can see it's a 3.2 second flight time from where he is to that A phase 1. And the guy's sitting there behind that rock, which makes it an easy target, really. You'd think that he realised that after being hit once, he probably ought to move away. Is he still there? Well, I think that probably landed just short of him. Now, it looks like there's an AFK tank back here, an Object 263. At least he might be hiding behind that barn. There's the Jagdtiger he hit earlier. The IS-7 appears to have died. I think that's his wreck a short distance away. Now we've got a T-95 to kill. That's the Doom Turtle. Okay, Talon's loaded. He fires a round in. Oh, another direct hit, and it looks like he splashed the mouse at the same time. We couldn't see the mouse, so we don't know how much damage it did to him, but we do know that he did 307 hit points of damage to the T95. Okay, he's having to adjust his vehicle there, and that's causing the reticule to bloom out. I know a lot of Arty players, when they're beginning to learn the game, they find it difficult to let the reticule settle because they're constantly moving their vehicle, and really you just need to let the thing settle. You have to center your arc of fire enough so that you can get movement without actually getting reticule bloom. One of the great things about the M53 M55, it does have a very wide arc of fire. As you can see, it's about 30 degrees either side of the center mark. And that's because the actual howitzer is mounted on a pivoting turret which swivels in the direction that they want to aim. Close to the mouse for 162, landed behind him. The thing with the mouse is that you want to aim for the engine deck, which is the bit just underneath the gun. And the chances are, if you hit the engine deck, you might actually damage the gun in the process. Well, we can't see the mouse there, but he is there. In the meantime, we've got an Emil 2 making his way down the river. It's a reasonable tactic for players who try to infiltrate the north. Unfortunately, Talon's shell there was fired just a fraction too late, and he hit the water instead, but it was on the target line, so he would have hit the target if he fired a bit sooner, but we'll see if he can get this one in. He's almost loaded. Should be able to hit that mouse. Wait for it. Rounds out straight away. He's going to fire blind. And it hit the target because there was no explosion, so bang on the mouse. That Emil 2 is also a one-shot now, so I think Talon could probably take him out the game, but it's a very difficult shot because he's on the reverse side of a slope, and that narrows the actual available target area. It's much easier to hit a target that's on flat land. Okay, A phase 1's come down a bit. Now, can we get a shot into him? Here's a one-shot now. She could probably get the kill. Rounds out. Oh! He was killed by the other M53, M55 on our team before he could get the shot there. And that 263 is now moving down the river. Again, as I said, it's a very good tactic to use, using the river, but it's also a known tactic. So if you do try to do it, yeah, you can expect the enemy might know that you're there. It will protect you from some players, but not from all of them. 263 gets taken out by a Waffenträger. Well, that mouse is down to only a few hit points left now. 274. He's a one-shot. Talon fired the round in and takes 200 of those hit points away. So now he's got very few indeed. The enemy M53, M55 dies. The mouse has only got 18 hit points. He's dead. And that's it. That's the end of the game. So that's the first game with Talon 958. Let's have a look at the second game. The second game is on Cliff, and I thought it was actually with Angelina. No, it's actually Talon again. I must have misidentified these games when I put them two together on the board. Okay, the game started and Talon's moving off to a firing position further over on the west. Now, the quick loading time is actually quite a good feature with the M53, M55. So it's 32.17 seconds for Talon, normally around about the 35 seconds mark. Start of the battle, he's aiming for the road running up to the top of the cliff, and that's usually a good idea because it's normally a light tank who tries to get up there. Rounds out. Oh, two tanks got hit there. The first one, the T49, got a big hit for 489 hit points. He's lost most of his hit points. And the other T49 also took damage. Now, they did manage to get up onto the cliff, but how long they'll stay up there, I don't know, because they are very low on health. And in fact, that T-49 just got set alight, and I reckon the pair of them are now one shot. So they've probably ruined their game. Talon fires around in there. Oh, the other T-49 was still there. So we got a blind kill on the T-49. Love blind kills. They're always so much fun. The enemy Arty's been spotted. It's an M40, M43. He's decided not to hide himself, which is a bit of a mistake. Hiding behind a tree will give you some camo rating. Even just a little is enough. But he's been spotted, and if he stays where he is, Talon will have him, and he's still there. So obviously no 6-8s at work here. Rounds out. That's a kill. So Talon's on the scoreboard with 2 kills now. The M49 and now the, or it's actually the T49 and now the M40, M43. So he's got 2 out of the 3 kills that the team have got so far. It's not bad going, that. Okay, there is a tank on that corner, P44 Pantera. That AMX-50 120 is hiding behind the rock. Talon's searching for targets that he can hit. A good Arty player, if he can't find a shot on one target, will look for another one, possibly a better one. He might try a blind shot if that's necessary. And that Martian has made himself well known. He's now visible. Rounds out. Direct hit. Talon's always good at direct hits. He lets the thing dial in before he shoots, and it increases the chance of him getting a direct hit, well, exponentially, you might say. But he also got some stun assist there, because one of his teammates actually hit the Martian as well. You've got a pair of enemy tanks coming around the cliff, a T-30 and a Ferdinand. T-30's, well, he's being very bold, but he's also being a bit silly, because being out there in the open like that is more than likely going to get him hit. Rounds out. Here we go. Landed right next door to him for 207 hit points. And he's just gone out the game. So his game was relatively short. The Humpy was his name. Wow. Okay, the Ferdinand's next. And that's Halo Mo. These players are on the NA server. They are a little more inventive with their names on occasion. You get some funny ones. Okay, Talon's loaded. Rounds out. Here we go. Oh! Now, that was RNG that actually made that shell land that short. Okay, he's now going for the Martian again. I think things like that is you do see that that player and the way he's behaving is not the natural behaviour of an experienced heavy tank driver. Heavy tank drivers tend to move about constantly trying to avoid being hit. And again, the Martian struck this time for a 92 hit points. Even just a small amount of movement can sometimes be the difference between a shell penetrating and a shell bouncing off the armour. Well, the Ferdinand, he's stationary at the moment, taking shots on our teammates, and he just got hit by one of our teammates' Arty shells, and I think that Talon's going to hit him next. You notice he's got about 9 seconds of stun, 8. Talon's shell comes in, and only increases it a little bit to 9 seconds, but he got 471 hit points off him. That's that new feature, or new feature, it's actually quite old now, but a feature whereby if you hit a tank that's already been stunned, it only increases the stun a little bit. It doesn't put a whole new load of stun on. But I think that Ferdinand is about to take an early diving lesson off the side of the cliff. I'm pretty sure those tanks mean to kill him. Martian, and it's out the game. So 3 shots it took him to get there, but with some help from his teammates, he managed to get a kill. I was playing on that corner where Talon is right now only yesterday. Unfortunately, I got spotted by the enemy tanks up on top of the hill, but luckily Talon hasn't got that sort of problem at the moment, so he can sit there and not worry about being struck because the enemy haven't got the donut. He's now going to try and hit the sniping nest. A few shots up there might get the tank destroyer that's still up there, a Scorpion. No, the Scorpion's down here, so it's not the Scorpion that's in the nest. In fact, actually, the last remaining medium tank, the Centurion, was killed, so the Scorpion's gone. There's the 53 TP, and then it's just the M53 on the enemy team. Oh, and he's gone, which means now they're looking for the last Arty, and he's probably down in the west side of the map. It's most likely place he'll be hiding, just down here. I think he'll be hiding to the left, in the bushes on the left. Jedi mind trick. Go left. Go left. Talon, you want to go left. That's it. Oh, he's over to the right. He managed to fox me. Talon fires around in, and he gets the kill. Well done, Talon. Okay, so 2 interesting battles by Talon. Let's have a look at the end of battle results. And here's the end of battle results for Talon. And in the first game, he got a second class tanker in the M53, M55. He also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 10. And he got a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. And sadly, no kills, but he did get some damage, a lot of damage on the enemy. And his win 8 was 2614, which is, well, it's not Super Unicum standard, but it's Unicum standard. And it's very good. So let's have a look at the team score and see where he was. Well, he managed to get enough hit points in this one where he would have qualified for one of the track missions for sure. The high damage, the most damage, was actually done by the FB4005 on his team, 3,789, but Talon managed to get 3,080, and the third highest damage in the game was the AE Phase 1, got 3,011. When it came to kills, it was the Char Future 4 who shared it with the Waffenträger Alpha Panzer IV. And then we've got the other M53, M55 with 2 kills. When it came to base XP, it's second place for Talon. 1,027 went to the AE Phase 1, the only player over 1,000, but Talon wasn't far behind with 945, and then came the Tortoise with 895. He fired 13 rounds, got 5 direct hits, no penetration, 12 splash, damage of 3,080 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damage 6 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he got 289 hit points of damage assistance and 1,438 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 89,481 credits, and he also picked up 2,835 XP. So that was the first game. He wrecked the heavies and slowed them down and allowed his teammates finally to get the kills on them. Let's have a look at the second game. Well, that was the one on Cliff, and in actual fact, because he killed both enemy Arty, he actually ended up with a counter battery. Yes, second class tanker again. A fighter badge this time for getting at least 4 kills. He got 4 exactly. The counter battery for taking out both enemy Arty, because there was only 2 in this game. And he also got a bruiser medal again for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 13. And his win 8 this time was a little less, 2,083. But he actually did get the more medals, you might say. If we look at team score, we can see that he did earn less in the way of hit points of damage. The high score on this one was the T95. He got a steel wall and 3,183 hit points, followed by the E50, 2,907. And after that, it was the AMX50 120 on the enemy team, 2,427 hit points. Talon only managed 1,916 hit points, but he got the highest number of kills in this game with 4. The next highest being the AMX50 120 with 3. And then the Progetto, the 50 TP and the Tiger 2 all got 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, it was the Progetto did the best with 916, so he probably got a fair bit of spotting. Yep, he did get some spotting, not a lot though. 890 went to Talon and 802 went to the E50. He fired 11 shots in this game, got 5 direct hits, no penetration but 11 splash, damage of 1,916 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters, damage 7 on the enemy and killed 4 and did 1,406 hit points of stun assist of 7 stuns. He earned 16,639 credits from this game, and 6,675 XP, because he actually managed to get a mission completion on there for 2,670. So a pretty good game. In fact, a pair of very good games by Talon. Shows how accurate he is. He lets the aim settle before he shoots to make sure that he gets an accurate shot. And it works. It works well. So if a big tip to take from this game is follow Talon's suggestion, you know, aim, let the aim settle, then shoot, and you get good results. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below because it feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Feed me! Where am I supposed to get it? Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long. That's right!
And thank you for watching.